Hey, how's it going? In this episode, you'll learn about the Appearance API. So I'm just hacking around on a little demo here, and I'm using the payment element, and you'll notice that the rounded corners here don't really match the button. So really the only thing on this page that was part of our CSS before was this sort of salmon-y colored header, and then this huge pink pill button that has these really rounded, bubbly corners. And what I wanted to do was apply that to the payment element so that the payment element looks sort of so that it fits into our style. And it turns out that there's this Appearance API that's part of the payment element. And there's kind of like 3 different tiers to how you can style something. And I thought it might be fun to just kind of go through that. So we can start by picking a theme. And there's a couple of the pre-built themes here. So one of them is like night, one of them is flat, etc. So the way that we do this is we go into the appearance, object, and this ends up getting passed into Stripe elements here, so that when we're creating the payment element. So right now I have the theme set to Stripe. We could set it to, I don't know, flat, and let's see what that gives us. So then if it's flat, it will look like this. That's kind of neat. I like that. The border radiuses are much closer to what we have in our actual like implementation, but it's not perfect. Let's also try out night and just see what that looks like. All right, oops, refresh the wrong page. Okay, oh, night, look at that. That is like, that's definitely a dark mode sort of theme. That's cool. You can't really, yeah, okay. It doesn't match ours at all, right? Or we can set it to none. I think, let's try setting it to none and see what happens then. So if we set it to no theme, oh wow, there's like no borders or anything. Okay, so I think I want to start from the Stripe theme. And then after we have a theme picked, there's a bunch of different variables that we can use to style it. So this is sort of like CSS variables, but we're applying them inside of JavaScript. So if we want to, we can just copy that. What does that give us? If I drop in those variables there, come back over here and refresh. Okay, so the space kind of got a little bit tighter, and that's not exactly what I want to do, but it proves that we can just like pass in variables as an object here. So let's see what we want to do in terms of variables. I think if we change the color, the primary color, I'm hoping it changes the color of the background. I don't know, let's see. So if we set the primary color to, what is the color of our salmon color here? So if we inspect here and then look down in our CSS variable stuff over here, the headline color is this ed something something something. So we'll just paste that in there. And now let's take a look and see what that gives us. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Okay, so now we have like a sort of a nice round, or I'm sorry, a nice color at least around around the card thing, or around Afterpay, or around WeChat Pay. So again, this is for like if you're going to build a custom form, but the corners are not as rounded as we want. We want some border radius. Okay, so the border radius here in our app is 20. I know it's very bubbly. It's a very bubbly border radius, but look at that. Oh, wow. Okay, it's getting much closer. It's getting much, much closer to our style. All right, so then there's a bunch of other things that we can play with. Font family, I guess, like, okay, so if I type in an email here, then I get this sort of link with Stripe thing that we're going to talk about at some point. Nice. Okay, so just by having that color picked out, now like all of our buttons are sort of changed to that color. All right, so if I say let's log out and see if we can make it look even closer. So the font here, I guess we do want to apply the font family. So let's apply the font family next. So we'll say font family is, and then what is our font family? So it's this. This font family here is our font family that we want to apply. So let's drop that in. And that's going to be a little hard to tell because it's pretty close to the default, but it does look super clean. I am a big fan of that. It's looking so beautiful. Okay, what else can we do though? So there's a bunch of colors for danger, border, danger, text, success, backgrounds. I guess right now our inputs don't actually have a different background color, but if we wanted to, we could make the background color sort of like darker gray. I don't know. Let's try that out and see what happens. Okay, yeah, so that really pops. You know what I want to do is I'm going to add another input to our field so that we can see what it looks like with our own custom input. So maybe after the email address, we'll add like a label for the, I don't know, phone? No. How about age? Yeah, you have to enter your age to get access to this thing. Let's see. Type is the number. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Autocomplete. All right, so this age looks not great, but whatever. So like inside of our CSS, do we have some, okay, so it needs to be SR input. So we got to give it a class. Index. Okay, so this should be, I think class is SR input. Let's see what we get there. Nice. Okay, so now our inputs look the same. And then do we need a label? Nope, the label should be good. Okay. And then I guess maybe we'll update our CSS to match the appearance API. So let's give our label, or like our inputs, a background text of that. Well, actually, let's leave it the same so that we can see the differences here. So this is clear, or like it's just you know, whatever the default background color is for an input, and then this is going to be like styled like the payment element. There are also a bunch of rules, so we can apply specific rules to individual things. So like if we wanted there to be more space above one of these inputs, we could apply a rule that applies directly to a CSS class, and again it follows this sort of pseudo CSS selector style. Let's take a look at all the different rules and all the CSS input things we can apply it to. So we've got tab label input. We can apply it when it's focused. So maybe we can say something like rules, and then we can say like .tab : focused, and this is gonna be an object where we can apply some sort of rule. So this gives us the breakdown of all the different parts and pieces. So the tab icon is going to be this icon situation here. Then we have the tab, and then we have the tab label. So the tab icon was what I was trying to color earlier. Can we change the tab icon from up here? Color logo tab. Oh, that just gives us the preference of light or dark. Okay, so then, yeah, so there's all of these different, there's tons of different inputs and controls and places where we can apply stuff. One thing that's really neat is that we can have the labels float inside of the inputs. So let's play around with that a little bit. So floating labels. So we can make these floating. Where else is this? Oh, labels. Oh, we can just apply it at the very top. Okay, so let's try that. So labels floating. All right, what does this give us? Oh, sweet. Okay, so now like card number, instead of it being a label that's outside, it's inside. Same with email. Now our label is not floating anymore, so that's kind of annoying, but that's because our CSS isn't as sophisticated as the payment element one. So this is pretty cool. It's all really fun stuff that lets you really get into and customize the payment element to match your style. If you have really interesting styles, I'd love to see kind of how you've really customized this to match your site. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.